And now, broadcasting through 9 Radio, right across Australia, it's time for the Camping and Off-Road Radio Show with the Duck. Thanks to Spitwater, Club Marine, Shimano, Cooper Tyres, Uniden, The Manshake, and Club 4x4.
G'day and welcome to the latest edition of the Camping and Off-Road Radio Show, broadcasting right across Australia through 9 Radio in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane and Perth, 2LT Lithgow, 2BS Bathurst, Flow FM across rural South Australia, Victoria, right through to Albury-Wodonga, Kicks Country Radio right across the country, 4AM and 4KZ in far north Queensland, the Resonate Network right across regional Queensland, and a big g'day to all our listeners there, the Karma Radio Network through Central Australia, including Kalgoorlie, Uluru, Alice Springs and Katherine, Big Country Radio on the New South Wales far north coast right through to Burleigh Heads, and you can also listen to us each week via the News Talk Sport app on your iPhone, smartphone or tablet. You can download show podcasts by visiting the 9 Radio News Talk websites, 2gb.com, 3aw.com.au, 4bc.com.au and 6pr.com.au. You can follow us on Facebook just by simply typing in The Duck, all the Duck Adventures there. You can also follow us on Instagram at The Duck Off-Road and get video content on the Duck Off-Road Australia YouTube channel. To grab everything all in one place, as well as podcast links, just go to our website, bluecollarmedia.com.au. Well, a massive show lined up for you this week. Vic Widman will take us for a run down to Tassie. Our pub crawl will take us out to the Patuta Po out near Birdsville. We'll also head to the top end and bag a barra with Waddy. We'll go camping with Rick O'Brien, talk boating with Dominic Genoa, go camping and fishing with Steve Zammit in country Victoria, and cross the Nullarbor with Peter Woods. You can also be a part of the show just by simply sending us an email. To do that, go to bluecollarmedia.com.au, click on Email the Duck, or you can send a message to the Facebook page. We certainly love the feedback and respond to all emails and messages as well. Now, we haven't played Dwight Yoakam for a while on this show, so let's get him to kick us off this week with his hit. What about this one? Little Ways, right here on the Camping and Off-Road Radio Show, broadcasting right around Australia.
You got your little ways hurting me, you know just how to tear me up. Leave me in small pieces on the ground. You got your little ways hurting me, they're not too bad, but they're real tough. Just one cold look from you can knock me down. To look at you and me, no one would ever know the pain that I've endured. I won't let it show. My friends would laugh out loud if they only knew the truth about how I am just your lovesick fool. 'Cause you got your little ways to hurting me, you know just how to tear me up. Leave me in small pieces on the ground. And you got your little ways to hurting me, they're not too big, but they're real tough. Just one cold look from you can knock me down. Sadness in my eyes should somehow be a clue, but no one here would ever suspect sweet little you. There've been rumors of the truth, but I've kept it quiet, 'cause I'm too ashamed to let them know you make me cry. And you've got your little ways to hurting me, you know just how to tear me up, leave me in small pieces on the ground. You've got your little ways to hurting me, they're not too big, but they're real tough. 'Cause one cold look from you can knock me down. Yeah, your little ways can knock me to the ground.
Dwight Yoakam kicked us off this week. How good is that song? And I've got to say to you, I know I say this every week, you must think I just spend all week in the bar. Well, I've spent a bit of time in there lately, not for obvious reasons, with COVID lockdowns in this area, but he was certainly cranked up. That one was definitely up. The volume was up on that one last weekend as we sat around the fire and just enjoyed the lockdown of Greater Sydney. And but anyway, it was a great song, that one there by Dwight Yoakam. Look, I've had a few messages and some emails just in regards to our weekend that we had planned up at Blue Lagoon Beach Resort. Look, obviously for what's going on with Greater Sydney and obviously where Blue Lagoon's located there on the Central Coast, it's all part of that. So look, it's not cancelled. We'll definitely get to it. But look, obviously we can't pick a date right now. So for those of you who are asking me, look, it's going to be on. And look, you'll know when we know, but at the moment we just can't plan anything. And we've got a new project that we're working on here where we're going to go out and it involves a lot of filming. And we'll tell you more about that as it comes along. But we are putting together a show that you'll be able to watch. How good is that? But that again has all been not put on the back burner, but basically just postponed as we the project's on, ready to go. We're ready to roll, but we just can't go anywhere at the moment. So we'll keep you posted on all of that we are doing. I will say, though, plenty of you are out and about and living freedom. It is only the greater Sydney region. And when we say greater Sydney, that brings us into it, although we're on the other side of the Hawkesbury River near the Blue Mountains. And I'm actually closer to Lithgow than I am to Sydney. And g'day to our listeners there on 2LT. I bumped into a couple of blokes, it's been a couple of weeks ago. I bumped into a bloke a couple of weeks ago. I went down the shop and he goes, "Oh, g'day, Duck, listen to you on 2LT. He lived at Bilpin. So there you go. So obviously 2LT, Lithgow powering a pretty good signal strength into the Blue Mountains and east of Lithgow. We're around Bilpin. That's not too far from where I am here. In fact, about 10 minutes. So there you go. But many of you are travelling, and like I was going to say, good luck to you. I've received some photos from a mate of mine who was camped at the Daly Waters pub. Tony there from Pro 4x4 in Adelaide. Good on you, mate. And sent me a video of the men's toilet, which I'm not sure why he did that. I think probably because they've utilised their empty beer kegs out there. Very, very creative, as they do at the Lone Pine. For any other Lone Pine, what's it called? The Lazy Lizard at Pine Creek, the Lone Pine. The lazy lizard at Pine Creek there, they do the same with their empty beer kegs. Very, very creative. But look, from what I'm seeing and hearing, there are a stack of people travelling up around the Northern Territory in the top end. So well done to you. And we were there this time last year. So certainly, look, wish you well. And look, send us through those pics and videos. And if you happen to see old mate Tony from Pro 4x4 at the Daly Waters through the week, let us know. Let me know if he behaved himself. And he told me, he said, "Duck, get up here. I'll meet you at the wharf in Darwin on August 31. I don't think so, Tony. But anyway, I can only wish. I think he wants to get me into that seafood restaurant there. He's a big fan of it, that is for sure. We'll take a quick break here on the Camping and Off-Road Radio Show, and we'll come back and talk to Vic Whitman, who I think almost got blown away through the week. We'll find out what that's all about right after this.
You're listening to the Camping and Off-Road Radio Show with the Duck. Thanks to Spitwater, Club Marine, Shimano, Cooper Tyres, Uniden, The Man Shake and Club 4x4.
Blue Collar Radio on your radio and on podcast right around the country. And for those of you downloading the podcast each week, we certainly thank you for doing that. And look, there are thousands of you doing it. And look, we really do appreciate it. If you want to get in touch anytime, you can do that on the email, bluecollarmedia.com.au. You just click on Email the Duck, or you can just jump on the Facebook page. And that's where I get a lot of feedback these days. People just messaging me through that page. So if you just go to Facebook, type in the Duck, all the Duck Adventures there on Facebook, and you can send a message there. And like I say, I do respond to all of those emails and messages as well.
Time now to go beyond the bitumen with Vic Whitman, thanks to Great Divide Tours and Club 4x4, insurance for four-wheel drive enthusiasts.
And, of course, Vic Whitman is the owner-operator of Great Divide Tours. And if you want to get away on a tag-along tour, you can get onto his website. Check him out. You just go to 4wd.net.au, and, of course, you can check out the Driver Training Centre as well. He almost got blown away through the week, apparently, and he's been anchored down. Vic, how are you?
Yes, mate.
How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm cold. And I know you don't want me to give you a weather forecast. But
No. The people now are asking, what's the weather like down there? So I saw through the week it was very windy.
Mate, it's been a very windy, very windy winter. Normally it's August, September we get the winds, but we've been copping some pretty good winds. And I tell you what, through the week we had the biggest gust we've had for some time, and it's created a fair bit of work. I've had quite a few trees down and branches down over tracks, so I've been spending the last couple of days on the chainsaw and cutting firewood, but clearing the tracks primarily. So there's always work to be done when you own 240 acres of bushland property with a training centre on it.
Are you down there by yourself, or you got other staff with you?
No, mate. No, I'm here on my own. Yep, here on my own. As we mentioned before, home is in Sydney, but I can't get back there because then I'd get in the lockdown and I wouldn't be able to provide any training. So I've been down here now for over 50 days. And it looks like we'll be here for a bit longer.
Yeah, it's not looking flash, is it? And for those of you listening to us all over the country, you obviously see the news, and we are all in a lockdown here. It's and look, in fairness, I mean, there's been times here, Vic, when we've been sweet and free to roam, and we've had some of our listeners, in particular on Flow FM through South Australia, in particular Victoria. And we've always wished them well. So now we're just wishing ourselves well because it's not getting any better, is it? But anyway, we'll just see what happens with all that. Now, Vic, I was just concerned because I just know that, and for those of you that have listened to us for a while would know that there isn't that much of you, Vic, and it doesn't take much of a gust of wind for you to be blown away.
Well, you're not wrong, mate. I was out there the other day, and I took about 3 steps backwards without even moving my feet. So, the greater worry, of course, is the overhead trees and overhead branches. And it's just something that we all need to be mindful of when we go camping. That the weather can have some pretty severe reactions at times, whether it be a cold southerly that comes through like that, or a thunderstorm that might develop. And, when you're choosing your campsite, it's lovely to get in the shade of the big gum trees, but you've got to remember that they periodically want to drop a branch on you or drop the whole tree down. And,
yeah, that's right.
I had a massive tree come down here right next to Cooper Kine, which you'll know very well, that really steep hill we've got, and made a massive gum tree, uprooted altogether, and it took out about 3 other large gum trees. So, that was, you certainly wouldn't want to be underneath one of them if you were camped there. That's for sure.
Well, we've all seen those photos where, there are trees gone down through four-wheel drives and caravans and flattened campsites. So, yeah, just be careful. Have a bit of a look. I know, like you say, as we get in, if you're camping somewhere where it's warm, you want to hit the shade. You've just got to be careful and just look. Make sure the tree's fairly healthy looking. If there's any dead, anything, especially large dead branches or whatever, you might have to rethink it. But, just be careful. It's common sense, Vic. It's just the way it is, and with everything we do. Now, Victor...
I'll tell you what, mate. It's a bit hard to spot sometimes if the tree's healthy or not, because
I know.
The ones that have lost branches, where they've snapped off, they've been hollowed out by the white ants, and the tree looks perfectly good from outside. But look, my advice is if the wind's getting right up, I'd be moving away from under the trees. When it's nice and calm, you can have your tent there. But if it looks like a storm coming, just move away from that area, mate.
And that's this week's Camping Tips with Vic Woodman.
That's it. Yep.
And of course, we've
next week we'll talk about airbeds.
Here we go. No, next week we'll give you the weather update at Braidwood that nobody cares about. Now, I noticed you made it down the bakery too. But anyway, I see a photo somewhere of you having a cream bun as usual.
No, yeah, you might have. Yeah. So I've been testing the cream buns from the fantastic Braidwood Bakery. I go in there once a week and do my shopping with my mask on, and pick up the essentials.
Thank God
like
for that.
Meat pie for lunch and a cream bun for morning tea and a donut for afternoon tea. So I've got all the essentials.
Doing the community a favour wearing that mask, especially your head. Now, listen, Victor, Tasmania. Now, they're free to roam down there, mate. We broadcast through Kicks Country Radio in Tassie too. And g'day to our listeners down in Tassie. Now, Victor, tell us all about your expedition down that way.
Well, look, the little area that I picked out was a place called the Great Lakes. It's up in the central part of Tasmania. And in fact, I was just reading about it. They reckon there's over 1,000 lakes up in that area, and most of them are natural. There's a few man-made ones, because it's a big hydroelectricity area, of course. The whole of Tasmania is almost hydroelectricity. But there's, I tell you what, mate, it's a beautiful place to drive through. Our Tassie tour that we take down there does this particular circuit, and to get up to the Great Lakes, you obviously would follow what they call the Highland Lakes Road, or the Lakes Way, as a lot of people down there will call it. That comes out of the lovely little town of Deloraine, which is just out of Devonport down there. And Deloraine itself is a beautiful little town. I mean, look, Tassie is one of my really special places to visit. There's no doubt about it. And you can go to every little town that's marked on the map and stop there and find something interesting to look at. And Deloraine is one of those towns. It's got great little quaint shops in it. It's got a fantastic bakery. And it's got a lot of history with it as well. And then from there, you follow this Highland Lakes Road, which starts to climb up the mountains. And the other great thing is that it doesn't really matter where you drive in Tassie, mate. There is also always, I should say, a fantastic view to be seen out the windscreen as you're driving along. And it's so different to the mainland. It's a little bit like, the mountains landscapes you get in Europe, just not quite as high, but similar kind of country. And it is really a beautiful drive heading up that Lakes Way. Part way up there, mate, there's a turn-off to a little place called Liffey Falls. And that's worth going out to. There's a nice little car park at the end of the dirt road. It's just a short little dirt road to drive on. And the walk itself is not too bad to go and see the falls. It's obviously downhill, and you get to where the Cascades are. It's a series of waterfalls that you'll see, and you can walk for along the edge of the creek and the river there for some way, and have these different little scenes of the cascading waterfalls. And quite a nice spot. And not a bad spot up there to have lunch. And there's a drop toilet and the usual covered over table and chairs. The weather in Tassie is not predictable, mate. So even I can't predict it. You can have sunshine one moment and it can be snowing the next, and that's just an old cliche, but it really is like that. And in fact, on this drive, last time we did it in the latter part of 2019, it did actually snow on us in early December as we were driving around the Great Lake. So you've really got to be prepared for all types of weather. Mate, but when you get right up the top, and you are up high, you're up over 1,300 metres, so it's no wonder you do get a bit of snow occasionally. But the views as the road follows the Great Lake are spectacular. Now, look, this is a kind of road that anybody can do because it's actually a sealed road. It used to have a little bit of a gravel section in it a few years ago, but it's all sealed now. And the road does circumnavigate the whole of the Great Lake. And it'll take you a good hour to hour and a half without any stops to drive right round it. But there's lots of places where you want to stop and get the old camera out and get some photos, or just enjoy the pure, clear air that you have up there. And look at the fantastic scenery across the lakes and the reflections you get in the lakes, etc. Quaint little houses all around the lakes there, which are basically their little, if it was in New Zealand, mate, they called it a batch, But it's the little holiday houses that they have that the people from down on the coast, down in Hobart, down at Launceston and Devonport come up to spend a few hours or few days up there admiring the scenery. But the other thing they love to do up there, mate, is the trout fishing, and that's really, really big, the trout fishing. And then, of course, canoeing, any kind of, non-motorised water sport on that lake is just spectacular. But again, you need to be rugged up and ready for some really poor weather. There are some free campsites when you go onto the conservation site in there. There are some free campsites on the adjacent lake, which is Arthur's Lake, and there's a couple of free campsites in there, and they just look stunning. Looking at the pictures of them that I did this morning, and the drive around that, as I say, it's all on a sealed road. You're right up above the tree line. So, there are some trees in the area, but a lot of it you're out in exposed landscape up on top of the mountains. And there's an intersection there with Marlborough Road, where you've got the Great Lakes Hotel. And, of course, mate, it doesn't matter where you are in Australia, there's always a hotel, isn't there?
Oh, well, 100%.
Yeah. And, look, it's a great little place. You can actually stay there. They've got little rooms with en suites and that, like $150 for a double. It's pretty good value. Obviously, you get meals in the pub there. That includes a light continental breakfast. So, you can camp, you can stay in the hotel up there, or you can just visit it. And look, I've done this as a day trip out of Launceston, driven up, goes a full circuit around Arthur's Lake. When you drop back down off that escarpment, the views coming back down towards Launceston are absolutely spectacular. There's no doubt about that. And then on the way down, you head back across to Launceston, and you start to get back into the grazing country and all the sheep country and that's down there. It's so green. In fact, when we went down in 2019 for our four-drive trip that we did, and we've got another one coming up later this year, when we went down there, New South Wales, we were all in the heart of the terrible drought, and everything was on fire up here and everything was brown and horrible. We got down to Tassie, and the green was that bright and iridescent that it was hurting the eyes almost to look at it. So it's a very different climate, a very different part of Australia, but it is one of my favourite places to visit, mate.
Well done, Victor, and I'll let you run with that one, mate, because certainly there is a lot to... there it is. We try to inform people and give people as much information on this show as we can, especially when it comes to, when it comes to travelling and camping and exploring Australia. And there's a great spot there, and we don't talk about Tassie that often, although, we have done in the past, but it's good to look at that one, mate. What a cracking little trip that would be, and if you can get down there, maybe wait till it warms up a little bit and then head down for it, because as you head into spring and summer, it'll be beautiful down there.
Well, look, we've got we take a group down there. We've got a group going down in early November, and we've got 7 vehicles booked on them. I've actually got one spot remaining on that. It's a 20-day trip that we offer down there. Yep. It does include accommodation because of the poor weather that they can experience, and and that's anything from a cabin through to a motel room, etc. And we visit all of the major touristy locations, as well as some of these more remote places like the Great Lakes and a few other tracks and four-drive tracks that we follow, and even a West Coast beach drive, which is pretty specky, mate.
All right, so people can jump on the website for that one, 4wd.net.au. That's the website for Great Divide Tours, and check that trip out, and, of course, a few other trips that Vic has on as well. All right, Victor, we'll let you get back onto that chainsaw, and look, just be careful with that. How big's the chainsaw? It'll be bigger than you.
Look, I have a fairly small chainsaw, mate. Which
I'm glad you said chainsaw, Victor. We'll let you go, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay.
Just before we do let you go, what about, we were talking off air, and what did you say to Bunchy? I've been putting up with this bloke who's looked after me for 8 years. No, you're welcome, Vic, no problem.
Yeah, no, it's all good, mate. I know how you need to be pampered to keep you happy.
Actually, folks, he wasn't saying that, he was bagging me, but anyway. All right, Victor, we'll talk to you next week, mate. You stay safe down there, mate, and we'll let you get back onto that chainsaw and clear those tracks for some more training.
Right, mate. Take care.
Good on you, mate. How good was that description of Tasmania, and in particular that trip around the lakes there? Beautiful. He can certainly paint a picture, Vic, which is from time to time we just let Vic run with it because he can certainly, you can picture it as he tells you. And while he's describing it, and it's fantastic. He certainly knows his way around Tassie, and in fact, he knows his way around the whole country. Been absolutely everywhere. Not too many people have been to it. The amount of places that Vic has. Runs a fair income, good Aussie business there. Great Divide Tours, the best in the business. Go to the website 4wd.net.au or simply Google Great Divide Tours. He is a good man, and of course, he has that driver training centre down there at Bravewood. We'll take a quick break. Come back with more right after this.
You're listening to the Camping and Off-Road Radio Show with The Duck. Thanks to Spitwater, Club Marine, Shimano, Cooper Tyres, Uniden, The Man Shake and Club 4x4.
Just a reminder too, if you want to get hold of some pretty good gear, jump onto our website, bluecollarmedia.com.au, and click on the shop. You'll be able to grab yourself a Blue Collar Media Uluru hoodie, as well as T-shirts. We've got caps, beanies, stubby holders, and the very, very popular Blue Collar Media blue singlet. So jump onto it, bluecollarmedia.com.au, click on shop, and you can grab all the gear there. And the stubby holders and the blue singlets seem to be the go. And like we say every week, people down south are into the hoodies and the beanies. But it's all there. Check it out. The Uluru range is up. Just go to our website, bluecollarmedia.com.au. Now, look, there's nothing better than getting out for a fish, whether you're heading out on a boat or just to your local pier. You know, the best spot for all your fishing gear is, of course, ShimanoFish.com.au. Now, Shimano really is a fisherman's best friend with a huge selection of reels and rods, including ready-made rod and reel combos, plus line and tackle bags that suit a range of fishing styles and, of course, techniques. Now, whatever it is you need, Shimano has you covered hook, line and sinker. Just ask any keen fisherman or pop in and ask the expert at your local tackle store, because they'll certainly help you. And look, wherever you go fishing, always ask the locals. We're going to talk to a Northern Territory local in a minute. Well, actually, more like a Northern Territory fishing identity. We'll get to him in a sec. But look, that's what you do. Local knowledge is where you'll find it, and you'll normally find that at your local tackle store. And I know wherever I go fishing, anywhere, I always pop into a local tackle store, stock up on what I need, get me gear, grab me bait, and then ask a few questions of the bloke behind the counter. That's where the knowledge is. Shimano is their number one choice for fishing gear as well. So remember to buy local and fish local. View the range now, ShimanoFish.com.au. Check out those rod and reel combos. All the reels at Shimano come with that famous 10-year warranty. Pretty good. So check out everything there. Fantastic apparel as well. You certainly cannot beat Shimano fishing gear. As it warms up, and it will be warming up soon around the southern parts of the state, why not stock up now on your gear, your fishing shirts and everything you need to get into it. And you'll find all that gear at that website, ShimanoFish.com.au.
It's time to head to the top end and bag a barra with Glenn Waddy Watts. Thanks to Shimano. Remember to buy local and fish local. Visit ShimanoFish.com.au.
That's right, he's a local fishing identity. He's from Barefoot Fishing Safaris up there in the top end, and he's on the line. Waddy, I wish I was there with you, son.
G'day, Duck. Yeah, it's quite pleasant up here. No worries about that.
Oh, mate, it always is. I mentioned earlier at a mate of mine who I actually bumped into when I was up there last year with you. And remember, I think that night I told you I went to that restaurant. It cost us thousands to get out of there. And that was, I think the drink bill was probably the 90% of it. But anyway, and that was the girls with the cocktails. But he's on his way back up there, my mate Tony Cowell from Pro 4x4 in Adelaide. And he's sending me pictures of the daily waters and just rubbing it in. Camped at Cooper Creek on his way out and way up, and I think you can expect him up there at the end of the month, mate, so look out for him. Mate, what's doing? You're telling me through the week that they're opening a couple of the billabongs up there, mate, around Kakadu.
Yeah, that's right. It's taken perhaps a little bit longer than normal, or not longer than normal, longer than the last couple of years, I suppose. Just because things stay pretty wet out there, of course. It takes a while for the floodplains to dry out and their tracks to get dry enough to get in. So they're one of the probably more famous and one of the beautiful ones out there. 4-mile hole recently opened up, which is spectacular little spot. It was closed last year because of low water levels and a bit of an infestation of a bad weed, which is something that we can probably touch on as well, mate. But yeah, there's been a lot of fish caught out there. I'm actually hoping I might get out there next week myself.
Yeah, that's all right. Sounds fantastic. And man, that's the thing up there, because they can't have a set date of when things open, do they? I mean, everything's basically dependent on weather conditions, whether it's a big wet season or it's a light on wet season. It wasn't a bad wet this year or last year and early part of this year. And I guess when that happens, things like opening up these sorts of places do get delayed.
Yeah, that's right. I think we had it was definitely above average wet, but in past years we wouldn't normally expect these sort of places to open up until mid-year. And when they do, everyone lines up at the gate for the rangers to come and open it up. And yeah, like I mentioned before, one thing to be mindful of for anyone who is going out there is that that area does have a floating weed in it, which is largely gets flushed out on big wet seasons like we've just had. But it's really important to be mindful not to transport that weed to other waterways and have it infect like a nerve system which doesn't have it yet. So just be mindful. There's a wash down pump out there, I believe, and you've got to give your trailer a good wash before you leave, and you'll be right.
Yeah, unbelievable. The things you've got to think of up there when you're going fishing and the like, it's incredible. And certainly, and respect all of that and do the right thing. So if you are up that way, make sure you do the right thing and flush everything out, wash everything down so you don't carry that weed to your next fishing spot. Mate, things have quietened off a little bit for you, and that's because of what's happening down here, yeah?
Yeah, that's right. It's amazing how everything sort of affects down the chain. We've had a fair few cancellations from some bigger extended charters coming up in the next few weeks, thanks to the current lockdowns, which is a shame. The Darwin Cups, a lot of people are going to miss out on that. It's up. It might actually be this weekend, so that's pretty exciting for us all. And unfortunately for a lot of the Sydney siders, or anyone in New South Wales, they won't be able to get up for it.
Yeah, it is a real shame. It's amazing when people think about obviously the lockdowns, in wherever they are, have a huge effect on the economy and the like, and businesses and small business in particular. Cops are hammering, as do the average Joe Blow workers that work for people. They all cop it. But what people don't realise is that as far away as Darwin, it has effect on a little business there, which would be yours.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we probably will pick up work from South Australia and Melbourne. That'll people that are escaping lockdown, but at the same time, there's not going to be the numbers of people sort of coming up at the last minute that we compared to what we already had booked. So it's a real shame, but it gives me a chance to get some maintenance done on the boat and tie a few flies, and of course spend time taking the kids camping and fishing and to soccer and all those other things that we do. So yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world.
Doing the lawns, drinking beer. I mean, I know how it works up there, mate. Don't worry about that. Listen, but mate, are you seeing? Because look, I'm seeing a lot of video and photos and posts on social media with still, although there's been lockdowns and there was some in Adelaide and then Victoria and now New South Wales has got a problem. But mate, I'm still seeing plenty of people out travelling. Is it still busy up there? Yeah, it is. That's right. It is. It's still very busy because I guess there's still plenty of people that aren't in lockdown, and I guess what you're seeing are the people that were already on the road anyway. Yes. They've been on the road before the lockdowns or before the border closures, hotspots, and that. Whereas the effect or the immediate effect that these hotspots have is obviously the guys who are flying in specifically to do one activity and then them flying out. But certainly the caravan parks are flying, and those driving type holidays are still really good and very busy. Yeah, good stuff. I know they struggled last year. When I was up there, it was fairly quiet, and we basically had the run of the place in some of those places we went to. It was very, very quiet. It was I guess to our luck, it was probably a good time to be there because we got to see a lot of it on our own, or limited numbers of people with us. So it was, but not good for business. So it's good to see that this year things have picked up for them. All right, mate. Well, we'll let you get back to those chores and pumping up the soccer balls and whatever else you're doing, putting ice in the cooler box. I'm tipping that'll be the first job of the day up there, and
I'm nearly done. Yeah.
And we'll let you start planning those trips out to some of those water holes, mate. And we'll talk to you next week, eh?
Yeah, beauty, mate. Good on you. Take it easy. Stay safe down there.
Yeah, doing the best I can, mate, with the equipment I have, Waddy, as you know.
Yeah, that's a worry in itself.
I know. See you, mate. There he is. That, of course, is Glenn Waddy Watts. He's the man. You need to jump onto his website, barefootfishingsafaris.com.au. Check him out on Facebook as well. Same name, Barefoot Fishing Safaris. He will look after you. There are plenty of guides up there, but he is our go-to and our number one, and that's who we go fishing with when we head up there, although I've only done it once with him. But I'm recommending a few people towards him anyway. So he needs to get, if you want to go up there, want to go fishing in the top end with one of the best in the business, go with Waddy. He'll look after you. Barefoot Fishing Safaris. Jump on that website, barefootfishingsafaris.com.au. A quick break. Back with more right after this.
You're listening to the Camping and Off-Road Radio Show with The Duck. Thanks to Spitwater, Club Marine, Shimano, Cooper Tyres, Uniden, The Man Shake and Club 4x4.
Just a reminder too, looking forward next hour to speak to the Batuta Pub, which will be fantastic out there near Birdsville. It was a pub that was closed for a very long time, so we'll catch up with Dave out there next hour and a whole lot more as well. But in the meantime, as you know, plenty of people now getting their boats ready to get out there and hit the waterways as we're coming into that last month of summer. In fact, folks, it's only about, 4.5, 5 weeks till spring? You little beauty. You can just... Oh, can't wait for it. I know people listening to us up in outback Queensland, up in the Territory, probably thinking, what are you talking about? But it's been pretty cool down our neck of the woods, especially around Victoria, South Australia and New South Wales. So we certainly are looking forward to that warmer weather. Well, with that comes boating, obviously, although people do boat, get out in their boats all year round, depending on where you live. And there's a lot of... things you probably forget about and things you probably should be reminded of, and especially if you take your boat outside, and a stack of people do that. Dominic Genoa, of course, is our boating guru here on this program, and he's on the line. Dom, g'day.
G'day, champ. Yeah, g'day. It is certainly a never-changing world we live in, and there's one thing that doesn't change when it comes to boating. When you go boating, safety is paramount, and across the country, this beautiful country of ours, they're not waiting for spring or summer. There's plenty of people getting out there on the water right now, and it's a fabulous thing to do. Getting that fresh air and the water onto your skin is lovely, and I can't encourage people enough to think about when you go boating, making sure that you understand that safety is paramount. And one of the things I just want to touch on today is marine radios. It's one of those things on board that are absolutely critical and very, very important. And, I think that it all starts with me urging listeners to say, understand who your marine rescue group is in and around where you go boating. So boaters have their regular places they go boating, but they also travel. So if you're familiar with the marine rescue groups that you have access to where you go boating regularly, that's fantastic. But as you travel, find out who they are when you move. And around Australia, they're known by different names. I've mentioned this before. In New South Wales, we've got Marine Rescue. Victoria, the Volunteer Coast Guard. In Queensland, they have both Marine Rescue and the Coast Guard. If we're SA listeners, Marine Rescue, SAC Rescue and the Coast Guard. In Tassie, Marine Rescue and Sea Rescue. And in WA, Marine Rescue and Sea Rescue as well. Now, these organisations provide many community services. Helping boaties who get into strife is one of those very important things that they do. And the most prominent means of them contacting you is via your marine radio. Now, there is advice out there, and that advice says that if you're in grave and imminent danger or you need urgent help, you've got to use every means to get yourself to get information out to people that you need help, to call for help. One of those is via your marine radio and obviously your mobile phone. And you make a Mayday call if you're in trouble, and then you call 000 as well if you can. Now, the advice is with your marine radio is to always keep it on channel VHF 16, or if you've got a 27 megahertz old radio, it's channel 88. and you keep it on that channel for distress, safety, and for making any calls. Now, VHF radios is the choice for safer boating. It's newer technology. It offers a greater range, clearer reception, less interference from the static. So if you don't have a marine radio in the boat, think about getting one. And you don't have to have a boat with a radio in it. A handheld VHF set is available and great aid, and you could use them on jet skis, kayaks, canoes, and other paddlecraft or any small craft. In fact, believe it or not, Duck, I actually have one sitting in my office because it's just an item that I could grab. It's always on charge.
Oh, I can imagine you'd be there in the bedroom and on the VHF saying calling. Here we go, just calling. Yes, calling your wife in the kitchen. Yes, can you just stir the spaghetti sauce?
Cook it up, bub. Cook it up.
Could you just take the pasta off the stove?
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do.
Now, listen, look, people can check that out. It's common sense stuff, obviously.
Absolutely.
And for most people with bigger boats have those radios. Look, I think the portables are a great idea, especially for those of you. I mean, as I have seen many, many times. It's not something that I do, is go riding out on the ocean on a jet ski on your own. But I've seen plenty of jet skis out there, one off just on their ace, and obviously they probably got a mobile phone on board. But if not, that handheld's a good idea. Dom, just quickly before we do let you go, obviously we broadcast right around the country, we're not the only, and everybody is a lot luckier than us. For those of us who live in Greater Sydney, we're in lockdown now. Look, there is some quick rules about boating in these sorts of lockdowns. And there are some people who really have to go boating as part of their daily life, especially people that live on places like Dangar Island. You need to jump in a boat to get over to Brooklyn. So, for exercising or fishing, boating's a goer on jet skis, and fishing is considered as exercise. But things like water sports, like wakeboards and skiing, there are limited circumstances there?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's limited circumstances. So you can go PWC, you can go fishing, you can go tow sports, sailing, kayak and paddle, educational training for a boat licence.
Yeah, but houseboats are gone out. If this is only in lockdown areas, so that's right. Particular. Look, at the end of the day, it's only Greater Sydney that's locked down, really. So
that's right. And you can't go out for general boating or recreational purposes. And just check out the rules. Be smart. And the rule is, unless it's absolutely essential, just stay home.
Yep. So that's for our listeners on the South Coast and, of course, around Sydney and the Central Coast.
That's right.
But for everybody else listening to us around the country, go and do what you like. You're lucky.
Absolutely, you can.
Yeah, that's for sure. And plenty of people who listen to us do get into their fishing and that, especially up around Queensland and up around the top end. And, of course, we've got plenty of listeners on the coast over in WA as well. So, so good luck to them. And hopefully we'll be able to catch up with you soon and we won't be able into these lockdowns. All right, Dom, you might as well go out with that famous last two sentences.
Thanks, chap. Safe boating is good boating. And remember that a life jacket never ruined a day on the water. There
he is, of course, Dominic Genoa, who is our guru here when it comes to boating, and always some good advice, and certainly very passionate about boating, whether it's on a big boat or a small boat, even a kayak. He understands all of it, and so any tips we can give you here on this show, we're happy to do it. We love talking boating because it's what we do as well. I'm looking out the window here of the studio at the jet ski parked out there with a cover on it, and exercise, It's been the only exercise I've done for a while. I'll get that out for a run. But certainly it all goes hand in hand. Camping, four-wheel driving, caravanning, and, of course, boating and fishing. It's all part of it, and that's why we talk about it here on this show. Well, that is the first hour come and gone, as it always flies by. We've got plenty to get through next hour. We'll catch up with Rico, who will take us camping. We'll also go fishing and camping with Steve Zammit down there in country Victoria. We'll catch up with Woodsy over there in WA and see how he's going. We'll cross the Nullarbor to talk to him. And the Batuta pub, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we'll catch up with Dave there at the pub and see how that is. That was a pub that was closed after the fellow that owned it passed away, and it was never to be reopened. And then after years and years and years, somebody bought it and decided to forget that and reopen it. And it's a welcome little watering hole for people travelling to and from Birdsville out past Windora and the like. That is all coming up next hour. You can get in touch, just a reminder there, bluecollarmedia.com.au. Just click on Email the Duck or get us on the Facebook page. But we'll be back next hour with all of that right after this.
And now it's back to the Camping and Off-Road Radio Show with the Duck. Thanks to Spitwater, Club Marine, Shimano, Cooper Tyres, Uniden, The Manshake, and Club 4x4.
And welcome back to the next hour of the Camping and Off-Road Radio Show as we broadcast right around the country. And if you are listening to us driving along in the ute or out there across the regional Australia in the shed or even on the podcast, we certainly do thank you for tuning in and hope you are enjoying your day. Now, last hour on the show, we caught up with Vic Woodman, who took us on a bit of a trip down through Tassie, which was fairly exciting. We went up the top end with Waddy and we had a look at what was doing up there with the billabongs around Kakadu in the top end, and we just got some great boating advice off Dominic Jenner as well. This hour, we've got a stack to get through. We'll talk to Dave there at the Batuta Pub out there in Outback, Queensland. We'll do that in just a second and find out what's doing out there. He's just had the Big Red Bash out there. I'm tipping it would have been fairly busy during that little period there as people were heading out for the bash and heading home. So we'll find out how all that went. We'll cross the Nullarbor with Woodsy. We'll go camping and fishing with Steve Zammit. And, of course, camp spot to put on your bucket list with Rico. Just a reminder, you can get in touch here on the show. You can just go on the email, bluecollarmedia.com.au. That's our website. Click on Email the Duck and send an email, or you can just jump on our Facebook page, The Duck at the Duck Adventures, or just type The Duck into Facebook. You'll find the page there. Give it a like and send us a message there. And like I say, we do respond to all of those emails and messages.
On the Camping and Off-Road Radio Show, it's time for the Ducks Town and Country Pub Crawl.
Well, this is one of my favourite segments on this show. We go and talk to an outback pub or a country pub, but we love the ones out in the outback. And let me tell you, they don't come any better than the one out we're going to talk to today, the Batuta Pub out near Birdsville. Now, it was closed for a long, long time, and I remember years and years ago when there was word of it going to reopen, I think we spoke to the owner of the pub. I think he was based in Brisbane, and basically he was trying to get it open. There was a few issues around all that. It is open now, and I've got Dave on the line, mate. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you, sir.
You there, mate? She's a bit of a dodgy line. It's Dave, isn't it?
Yes, mate. Yeah, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Sorry, they're standing in that spot, mate. That's a lot better. Now, mate, you're out there, mate, at the pub. How is it? How's it been? And how long have you been there?
Oh, mate, we've only been here 4 months. We're just giving him the 6-month period, which is the season.
Yeah.
Did a little stint last year, but mate, it's been fantastic. Big Red Bass was awesome. People are just loving coming in and checking us out. Yeah,
well, mate, it's certainly a very remote part of Queensland out there, and I mean, it's the only little stop off between Windora and Birdsville, and I remember driving out through that way a few times and think, geez, it'd be good if this pub was open. Well, it is now, and which is fantastic, mate. So you're just doing the season. What do you do normally? You're a publican by trade, or you just what's the go?
Yeah. Elf and I, we're ex-publicans, mate. Sold up last year after owning a little place for 13.5 years and decided to tour around the countryside and have a bit of a rest, and then fell upon this place again that we'd been past many times, as you said, when it was closed, and we were getting a bit thirsty and found out she was open, so I thought, what the heck? Got in for a beer, and it was just too good to leave.
Yeah, well, not hard to get thirsty out there, mate. Mate, how many travellers are you getting through there, do you reckon, a day or a week, outside of the big events like the Birdsville Big Red Bash and the races and the like?
Mate, we're probably averaging 60 and 100 a day. That's your lunchtime, cruises through, and between them and the ones that are going to stop and camp overnight.
How many? 1,600?
No, about 60 to 100.
Oh, 60 to 100. Okay, yeah. So the phone line's just a bit dodgy, mate. That's still pretty good.
Yeah,
that's a lot of
out here.
Yeah, I know. We're lucky to get hold of you, to be honest, mate. That's not bad numbers considering you've got Greater Sydney lockdowns. So there's a lot of caravans and campers parked at home in that neck of the woods at the moment. But mate, that's pretty good. And I think obviously now with no overseas travel and the like. And we know this for a fact that there are a stack more people out travelling by road and getting out and exploring Australia. But, mate, that's not too bad, is it, for this time of year? And 60 to 100 a day?
It's fantastic. You got those that would have gone overseas. They're coming out here and really enjoying the outback for a change. we've still got a lot of interstate people stuck up in Queensland that are a bit too scared to go home. So they're sort of doing circle work around Queensland, So fortunately for that, and, word of mouth, and obviously, we've only just cracked her open again. So so far, so good for the boss.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. So tell me, so you got lunches and all that there. How many staff you got working out there?
Mate, at the moment, there's only the wife and I. For lunch, basically, we do. We've got Bernie's famous pies and sausage rolls.
Yeah.
We do those all day, mate. We have two flavours in the pie, mate. We have plain or mince.
Where do you get them from, Birdsville?
No, mate, we get them out of Charleville.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, no dramas. So, plain or mince?
Yeah, Heineman's Bakery, mate.
Yeah, okay, all right. So, you get them out of there. And what about the beer, mate? She'd be nice and cold, though?
Mate, it's the coldest beer in Batuta.
The coldest beer in Batuta. So, mate, you mentioned that you're there for the season. So what happens after, and when we say the season, for those who aren't sure what we're talking about there, that's the travel season. So you're there for 6 months. What happens then? Does the pub close over summer?
Robbo will stay open until December, and then he'll shut it down for a couple of months.
Yeah.
Being that it's just the temperatures and what have you out here, and they shut the Simpson Desert and all that sort of stuff. So,
yeah.
And then reopen her up probably, I'd say early or late February, I would guess at this stage.
So you're there, and for how long have you got to go before you move on?
Probably the end of September, mate. We'll see you through the race season. He's got a couple of other big events with the Variety Club and stuff coming through here, so 400 people and stuff like that. We'll see him through all that, mate, and then we'll head out. But yeah.
What's it like living out there?
Mate, it's fantastic. Honestly, not everyone's cup of tea, but I really love it. Everyone that comes out here just can't believe how good this place is. The ground's obviously, she's hard work, but it's just brilliant.
Yeah,
no hassles.
mate, it's
easy
remote. It's certainly remote.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the real deal out there. It's very remote, and hence the fact that even this phone line's a bit dodgy, but we've got you on it. But and what, do you just stay in your van, do you, or is there some sort of like residence there, or are you just staying in your van?
We live in our caravan. The boss lives in his 67 International motorhome, the old bus out beside us.
Yeah.
But the pub does have a couple of rooms, and we got 8 stretcher beds down the side for those who just want to roll their swag or sleeping bag out on them. So got a little bit of accommodation, more to come hopefully. But yeah, at this stage, that's what we got. Unbelievable,
mate. Certainly a different way of living. So wait, where to from here, mate? Once you're finished there, where do you head to?
Mate, borders permitting, we don't really know. Plan A is we're going to do the Murray River for a month, but if the borders stay closed, we'll travel around Queensland. There's a lot of this country that we haven't seen yet, so it's a big country.
That's where we're all lucky, mate. No matter what state we live in, there's plenty of places to check out if borders are closed. And in these COVID times, you just never know. It's always good to have a plan B, even a plan C. Where was home for you, mate?
A little place just outside of Burner.
Okay.
I don't know if you know where that is. That's southwest of Brizzy.
Yeah. All right. And is that where you had the pub?
Yeah, mate, yeah. Mount Alfred it was called.
Yeah, right, okay. Well, all right, mate. Well, listen, it sounds like a great sort of a lifestyle. Like you say, it's probably not suited for everybody, but I reckon look, that's what amazes me. We talk about it here all the time, where usually places like that pub there and others, they've got plenty of staff and people helping out who are backpackers. There's none of that. But young Aussies, they're not keen to get out there. Their sense of adventure seems to be lost.
Oh, mate, it's very, very hard. I mean, we certainly need a hand out here, just, not only with Batuta Pub, but, everywhere in this district screaming for staff. And, so try to say to people that come out here, we're not asking you to come out here for 5 or 10 years, but if you can give us 2 or 4 weeks, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just can't believe it. It's just, you get plenty of young people who go and work on a station, but if you're not into your horses or don't have that ability, I mean, it's not hard to go out and learn how to pull beers or pump fuel and work in a roadhouse or whatever, or flip burgers. It just seems to me that young Aussies today, they just, I don't know, some of these young people would rather sit around near the beach and the big smoke and not have to do anything. It's just unbelievable. I just can't get over it. Mate. Yeah, mate, it's embarrassing. I've said it before. I think it's embarrassing. I just can't believe it.
It is. It's a major shame, really. And I mean, that's the beauty of this pub here. there's no internet reception, mate. So when they come out here, as I say to people, I'm sorry, but you've got to talk to each other.
Oh, mate, I just think it'd be, mate, I'll tell you what, I mean, if you're a young bloke or a young girl, get out there. I mean, it comes with, obviously some sort of accommodation, you get paid, overnight, sit around a fire. You're out there basically not far off the Simpson Desert out there. I mean, your Bursville, then the Simpson. I mean, you just get out and experience it. I mean, it'd be something you'd be telling your kids and grandkids about in years to come, how good it was out there.
Yeah, mate, I was going to get back in there. I mean, come out, have some fun.
Yeah.
As I said, stay for 2 or 4 weeks or 3 months. It's up to them, but have a bit of fun. Every day there's someone new coming through the pub. Yeah. They're happy, they're smiling. They're from different parts of the country. I mean, it's one of the greatest experiences anyone will ever have, to be honest.
I just can't believe we can't get young'uns to get out there and experience that and work there, mate. But anyway, it is what it is. And but especially those those who are copying the welfare should be said, listen, your welfare's sweet. The only trouble is we'll be sending the cheque to Batuta. So you'll have to go up there and do a bit of work and pick it up. All right, mate. Well, I'll let you...
Love your work, mate.
I'll let you get back there, mate, and pour a few cold ones, and I wish you well, mate. It sounds like a real experience for you, mate, and I wish you the best for the rest of the season and happy travels from there, mate.
I appreciate the call.
Good on you, mate. There he is. That's Dave there from the Batuta pub, right out there between Windora and Bursville. It is fairly remote, and I've driven past that pub a few times when it was closed. And geez, I wish I was there today, that's for sure. But what an experience that would be. Great place to live just for a couple of months. I mean, great. I mean, it's there for 6 months. I mean, fantastic. So for those of you who are travelling through Western Queensland, southwestern Queensland, and you obviously go through that little area there, the Batuta pub's open, and go in, grab one of those pies. You've got a choice of plain or mince. And, but he did say he had plenty of cold beer out there, so which is what you really need when you're out in that part of the world. Fantastic. And what a great lifestyle that would be, travelling around and there, running the Batuta pub. That, of course, is our pub crawl this week. It's an absolute beauty. Just a reminder too, folks, anything you miss on this show, you can grab it on podcast. Just go to all your podcast platforms there or the 9 Radio News Talk websites or even our website and click on the podcast button there. You can catch up with everything on this show, whether it's the Batuta pub, the Walkabout Creek pub from last week, or one of Vic Widman's segments. Whatever it is we do, you'll find it on podcast if you missed it on the radio. We'll take a quick break. Back with more right after this.
You're listening to the Camping and Off-Road Radio Show with The Duck. Thanks to Spitwater, Club Marine, Shimano, Cooper Tyres, Uniden, The Man Shake and Club 4x4.
Blue Collar Radio right around the country. And as we broadcast here from lockdown Greater Sydney, but for most of you listening to this program, whether it's on the podcast or around the country, you're certainly out there free to travel. And I've got to say, how good was that chat with the Batuta pub? You in the bleachers, Bunchy? You there, mate?
Yeah, mate.
How good was that chat with Dave from the Batuta pub?
I loved that his phone kept dropping out. It just really gave an idea of exactly how regional the whole place was.
Mate, I've got to say to you, like as I've mentioned a couple of times during that chat, I've been past there a few times when the pub was closed.
Yeah.
And but mate, it is very, very remote out there, and like we say, and usually we panic when the phone line's dodgy, but that was as best as we were going to get.
I figured so.
But it just showed how remote it is out there and what life's like living in Batuta at the pub.
100%.
Oh, I wish I was there now. Now, listen, whether you're in lockdown, like they are in Greater Sydney, or not, you're probably still reaching for the comfort foods or just heading to the fridge for those little sweets and chockies and basically just stacking on all those extra unwanted kilos. Well, luckily you can stop your waistline from blowing up thanks to the Man Shake and the Lady Shake. Now, look, I've had a couple of mates get into this who swear by it, and so many real Aussies have shaken off those extra kgs the fast and easy way. Now, what about this bloke? I've told you about him before. Josh, he lost 73 kilos, Bunchy.
That's more than me, total.
Really?
Yeah.
It's certainly more than Vic Widman. He lost that like Vic Widman's like, what, 3? Anyway,
Yeah.
he lost 73 kilos in 9 months and reckons that he feels like a new man. No more sore knees. His back's come good. He feels like $1 million. As I mentioned, it's not just for the blokes. The girls are looked after as well. These are fair income people. Rachel, who has a couple of kids, has lost 32 kilos as well. And now she reckons the kids can't keep up with her. Now, look, here's a tip. We all love those big road trips when we get out there to our camp spots. And it's hard to, not hard rather, to throw in a quick feed or a takeaway or do a Vic Woodman and pull up at the bakery and get a pie and a cream bun. You know, it's easy to do that, but how easy would it be to just have a quick shake while you're on the go? You're actually getting healthier whilst you're travelling. Most importantly, you're not missing out on those meals whilst you're out on the road, which if you're in a hurry to get to your camp spot, it's not hard to do, just burning along well, pull up, have a shake and keep going. The best thing about the man shake and the lady shake is you can still enjoy a treat as well. There's no starving yourself. It tastes pretty good, and there is a huge range of flavours available. I've been having the coffee one for breakfast every day. Fantastic. It's like an iced coffee. Beautiful. Now, as you know, I love me beers as well, and the best thing about the man shake and the lady shake is that you still get to enjoy the beers and the wine, if that's your go, and, of course, your favourite foods. Now, look, it starts for as little as $2.24 a meal, certainly cheaper than a pie at a takeaway shop or a bakery whilst you're out and about, and it's delivered right to your door. How good's that? There really is no excuse not to give it a crack. If you want to get into it and drop a few kgs for summer, now's the time to start. That's right. If you want to look like an athlete come summertime and be like Vic Woodman and hit the beach in your Speedos, well, now's the time to start getting onto this. Get onto this, because by the time summer comes around, you're going to feel like $1 million. $2.24 a meal. That's all it is. $2.24. Unbelievable. Get onto themansshake.com.au and you'll save up to 25% off. How good's that? 25% off now, that website, themansshake.com.au. Lose weight the easy way today. That's right. Start your health kick right now. Jump on your computer and get into it. themansshake.com.au.
It's time to camp out and wet a line with Steve Zammit. Thanks to Shimano. Visit shimanofish.com.au.
Now, here's a bloke who loves his man shakes. Steve Zammit, g'day.
Hey, mate, how are you?
I'm going all right, mate. Now, for those of majority of the people listening to this program, they're all free as birds. But you are in a serious lockdown situation where you are, mate, to the fact now that it's affected the business there and it's getting harder and harder, mate.
Yeah, that's it, mate. The showroom's in the lockdown Liverpool local government area, and I happen to live in the local government area next door. I'm 5 kilometres from the showroom, but I can't go there now. So, yeah, I'm stuck at home for the next month. And tell you what, I'm going to need a few man shakes because it's not like I'm going to be doing a real lot other than working on the computer for the next 28 days.
Yeah, and do you have little breaks and watch a bit of Netflix and all that as well, or what's going on there?
No, I've got plenty to do. It's actually a good opportunity to catch up on a lot of that stuff that falls to the side when you're busy with customers and whatnot. But yeah, I'll get into the manuals and do a few other things. So yeah, I'll keep busy. So at least I'm working. I'm not stood down or in a bad position like a lot of other people are.
No, exactly right. There are certainly plenty of people doing it tough. And that little statement that he made about how busy he's on the computer, that was for you, Vaughan, in case you're listening in that Lamborghini. But, but mate, you know what? That's the thing. I mean, you and for people who obviously most do know, but for those that don't know, Steve is the guru here in Sydney for MDC off-road caravans and camper trailers. And mate, I've got to say to you, you have been busy, and MDC seems to have been very, very busy for years now. It's just incredible.
Yeah, look, we're one of we're lucky in a sense, but we also work very hard at, and we've managed to build the business year on year on year. The last 12 months have been like nothing you could have ever imagined. But it's good. It's happy days. We work hard on our customer service and our products, and I think the growth and continued sales is testament as to that effort. But yeah, so we still going. These lockdowns are a bit of a hiccup, but as we've experienced previously, we expect it to quickly jump back up as soon as everyone's free to travel again. So
that's right. All other dealerships around the country are open and going anyway. You can always jump onto the website and check them out there as well. And look, as we say, I mean, they're great. Look, at the end of the day, you sell a very good product. And I mean, look, I've got one here. And for those people who have asked me on and off over the last couple of years, you know, did you buy your van? Yes, I did. I actually bought it from Steve. So there you go. Actually, I think I might have even did the deal with Vaughan. But
much as I like you, mate, it's, you know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. It's amazing how many people think that. Yeah, that's the go. We'll just give that bloke a $70,000 van. No, they are the go. And it was, and I did promise Vaughan for many years, mate. When the time is right, I'll be giving you a call. And I did that, and I've got to tell you, I haven't looked back since. I absolutely love mine. I know my good mate Chris, the boot man down there at Sid's Shoe Surgery in Richmond in New South Wales. He's sitting there in anticipation waiting for his to turn up. Well, the thing is, he won't be able to go far in it at the moment, but I'm certainly he'll be off and going once. I can imagine he'd be driving your cuckoo, wouldn't he? I mean, honestly, I'm going to tell you now. Now, listen, he would give Chris Holmes from Sid's Shoe Surgery, he would give a Panadol a headache. I mean, he would be driving your cuckoo, wouldn't he? He'd be all over your Facebook page, little ticks and comments, and just letting you know he's around, and then giving you the odd phone call every 20 minutes.
Mate, I have a Panadol sandwich lunchtime every day, and it's not particularly because of Chris, but
he's
on Panadol sandwiches.
He's a great bloke, mate. He's a really good bloke. He's got a really good little business that he owns and worked there for a long time before. He worked there as a young bloke, and then I think he ended up buying the business, and he works hard, and his wife works hard as well. And mate, she's talk about frontline worker. I mean, she was working with people in hospital with COVID. Oh, she's a nurse. So very. I mean, people think they've got an important job. How would you like to be dealing and helping people with COVID in intensive care? They're great people, and mate, he deserves it. So, but he still would give a Panadol a headache. Now, listen, we want to go talk about better things than this. We want to talk about COVID. We want to talk about going camping and fishing in country Victoria, and in particular around the Murray River region. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, mate. I found this place by accident, actually. I was heading along the Murray Valley Highway for work one day. As usual, I had the fishing rods in the back of the car, and I spotted this waterway. Thought, geez, that looks all right. It was Lake Mulwala. So on the way back, I managed to stop there and throw a few lures around it and whatnot. But it is quite a waterway. It's right near Wangara. Just sort of to the east of Cobram and whatnot. Really easy to get to. Plenty of places, holiday parks and camping. There's campgrounds there as well as paper holiday parks. And there's many places along the banks up at Cobram and that you can camp or even park your caravan or camper on. But this waterway is good. It's a lot of little tributaries, canals. It's all rural area, so it's not heavily populated, so the fishery is not getting hammered day after day. And it is an absolute beautiful part of the country. It's really worthwhile getting down there. You can take your tinny, or you can kayak, or whichever way you prefer to do your fishing. Fish with baits, lures, the whole lot. It is really worth popping down there and having a look if you're travelling along that way.
Mm.
If you're in northern Victoria, in that area, it's perfect. You can fish from the shore, you can fish from the boat, bit of everything there. You probably hear my nutcase dogs going off in the background. So
there's your personal assistant. I've got him here too, mate. I've got one here. I've got the HR manager, Bluey, and he was security. He's retired from that now. He doesn't hear much. Well, he hears it, but he doesn't know where it comes from. Anyway.
This idiot Great Dane can smell someone like 500 metres away.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes to do everything. It's one of the neighbours haven't come over and barbecued him.
Oh, that's hard. That's the joys of working from home, Steve, when you've got the dog in the background barking away, mate. That's just the luck of the draw. But, mate, it is a great region you're talking about. I love it all down there. It's just a beautiful part of Victoria. I know everyone loves the high country and they get down and get into that. But if you love your fishing and you love your camping and you love your exploring, this region has a lot to offer, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, there's quite a few fish species in there. Like you'll get trout, redfin, carp, unfortunately, silver perch, golden perch, but the big target's Murray cod and the golden perch, and it's great. And some big ones have been caught there. There's some areas of water where there's sunken timber and trees still sticking up out of the water where it's flooded, and they're the places to fish in amongst the snags and whatnot. It's where the cod will rest waiting for something to swim by to eat. Yep. And if you annoy them enough with a lure, you'll get onto them. I've actually seen that spot highlighted in some fishing shows and whatnot as well. I think Starlow had got down there and fished. I'm pretty sure he wrote an article on the area years ago, and it is really good fishing. It's worth going. If you're an enthusiast for freshwater species, that's where you'll get them.
Yeah, sounds fantastic, mate. I wish we were down there now. I bet you wish you were down there now. It'd be great, mate. All right, mate. Well, listen, mate, don't try to relieve the symptoms of cabin fever, because I know what you're like, mate, and you're not the sort of bloke that likes to be in the situation you're in at the moment, in the serious lockdown where you are. Stay safe, mate, and do your best and make sure you stay on that computer and give your guts to Vaughan, mate. Just make sure you're delivering on those manuals and all that hard work you do down there, mate. No, but, mate, we appreciate you coming on, mate, and taking a break to chat to us, and we'll chat to you next week, eh?
No worries, mate. Talk to you then.
Good on you, mate. There he is. That, of course, is Steve Zammit, and he is the guru here in Sydney at MDC Off-Road Caravans and Camper Trailers, and certainly does know what he's talking about when it comes to fishing, that is for sure. And always gives you that little tip, little places like where to throw your line or what to do, what lure to use. Certainly does know. He's for a bloke who knows a lot about caravans and camper trailers, he certainly does know a lot about fishing as well, and it's great that he comes on and joins us each week here on the show. You can go to the Facebook page and check out some of his videos as well. Just type in the MDC Facebook page there, you'll see him there, or you can check out their website as well. And I'm tipping once we get through this little period in the Greater Sydney region, there'll be plenty of people. There'll be a lot of caravans sitting in the driveway hooked up to cars at the moment, waiting for the green light, and then bang, gone, zoom, out there. And there'll be plenty of MDCs. You see many of them out and about now. That a big contingent out of the Big Red Bash recently as well. And we might ask Steve about that next week and see how successful that was for them as well.
The Camping and Off-Road Radio Show, brought to you by the Man Shake. Lose the gut without losing all of the beers.
And it's time to go camping with Rick O'Brien. Let's do that right now.
And now let's just camp out there somewhere with Rico O'Brien. Thanks to Ram Trucks for unrivaled power and towing. The Ram 1500 pickup truck. Eats utes for breakfast.
And of course, Rico is the host, the producer, the man behind the scenes and on camera of Australia Rediscovered with Rico. Rico, g'day.
G'day, mate. How are you travelling?
Yeah, not bad. Now, we should tell people and thank some people out there. I noticed through the week you've had a bit of a delay due to, obviously, due to COVID in releasing episodes of your series Australia Rediscovered with Rico, but the latest one's up now on YouTube.
Yeah, mate, it is. It's been a challenging time for everybody, mate. But we'll get there in the end. It might take a little time from time to time, but it's always rolling along.
No, that's the go. So if you haven't done that, subscribe to the channel Australia Rediscovered with Rico. And good news is, as we've mentioned here over the last couple of weeks, it won't be long before you'll be able to see that on 7 Mate. So we'll keep you up to date on that as well. Well, mate, there's plenty of people out travelling at the moment all over the country. Not everybody is in Greater Sydney. Lucky for them. Mate, where are we going camping this week?
Well, mate, I thought if I was out there myself, where would I like to go? And one of my favourite places in New South Wales is that hinterland area behind sort of the area between, say, Coffs and Grafton, up in behind there. There's some just stunning country up there.
Yeah, now you're talking. How good is it there? Geez, we're lucky. Mate, every week we talk about somewhere, anywhere in this country, and everywhere's a great spot. Where you're talking about now, it's a great little part of the world there.
Yeah, so specifically the Gibraltar Range National Park, and it's surrounded by a whole bunch of other national parks, which is cool. And in there you'll find a place called Boundary Falls Campground. Now, it's definitely worth making the effort to go and check this place out. It's set on a little creek there. It's absolutely stunning. There's a bit of a walk to go down to the falls, and it's definitely worth taking. The sign says it's about a half an hour return walk. I reckon it's closer to 45 minutes for an old bloke like me.
Yeah. How old would that be? I mean, you're kidding, aren't you?
Yeah, look. I feel older than I am, all right?
Oh, mate. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a walk. Going down's okay. Coming back up's a bit of a pain, but you're rewarded with a stunning little waterhole and a waterfall down the bottom there. It's definitely worth doing. But if you choose just to hang around camp, there's plenty to see there as well. It's actually built on the site of an old sawmill. So
yeah,
an
right.
old loggers camp there.
Yeah.
So Wade's sawmill was in there, and you'll find the remains of the old boiler and a few other bits and pieces as well. Good facilities there as well. You've got your drop dunnies. You've got some great fire rings with cooking plates and stuff like that can swing away, and some picnic tables and stuff like that as well.
God, here's one you could have given me when I was up in that region that day.
Mate, it's sometimes I've got to go back to the notes and have a look at where we've been and what we've done.
I know, there's so many, isn't there? It's just incredible.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at some photos of this. This is an amazing place.
Yeah, it is. It is a corker. There's only 7 spots there as well, so you do need to book online. You'll pay about, I think it's somewhere between $12 and $15 a night, something like that. But you're fairly secluded. You've got enough space to yourself. It's just a cracking little spot.
Yeah, and obviously there are fire rings available. Being a national park, make sure you take in your own firewood. You're not allowed to collect wood in national parks.
Well, there's actually, at this particular site, there's actually a little shelter there that's full of firewood that you can go
really?
and
You're joking?
Oh, yeah, have a look at the pictures I sent you, mate. There's a
look at the ones, I'm looking at the ones on the internet. Let me look at the ones you sent me. Just hang on a second. Here we go. Oh, have a look at that. How good is it?
Yeah.
And who does that? The Rangers, do they?
Yeah, the national parks do that, mate. So, you're paying your $12 to $15 a night, but you're getting facilities, you're getting your dunnies, you're getting the use of the tables, the great fire rings, and you're getting firewood provided as well.
Yeah,
but
that's
don't
cheap.
count on it being there. So,
yeah, that's right.
I'd take my own anyway, or at least a couple of big logs like the type that you like to take along that burn forever.
Yeah, I know. I took some good. We went camping one night. I took some good wood, didn't I? That was all right.
Yeah, I give you a hard time for bringing 2 pieces, but they lasted all night.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was 4 pieces. You said, mate, you've only brought 4 pieces of wood. I said, mate, we won't burn this. Yeah, that was from my mate Turtle at Turtle Nurseries Landscape Supplies. He's made the best firewood ever. I've been burning it here, mate. The fire's been going here for a month. Unbelievable.
It's been chilly, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been, mate. But the fire in the house, I might have had fires out in the fire pit and the Oz Pig and all that. But the one inside, it's just been going constantly for over a month now. And you just throw, a bit on at night and get up in the morning, mate, and she's still going, and it's incredible. But that's all right. I mean, you can't rely on that wood being there. Always take your own anyway. But you'll find, well, depending on where you are, but I know most times I've travelled, and you might put up at some of those free camp spots, you'll see a little stack of wood that someone's left behind for the next person. We're pretty courteous, us campers and travellers, I reckon.
Yeah, I try to do the same thing, especially if I found some waiting for us when we get there. I'll always do my best to replenish it before we go.
Yeah.
It's just the right thing to do.
Yeah, no, definitely, mate. All right, well, a great spot there. Boundary Falls Campground. It's in up there in the hinterland of the mid-north coast of New South Wales. And look, if you do yourself a favour and check it out, just jump on and Google it. You'll find it. I just did that. And like we say, there's great facilities there for you, a bit of firewood. So, but like we said, book online. Check it out before you head because only 7 spots. And I'm tipping they'd get filled up pretty quickly.
Yeah, it can also get pretty cold up there in winter as well. I was doing some research earlier, and they've recorded a record low there of -9 degrees in winter. So keep that in mind.
-9.
Yep.
Holy dooly. I mean, well, mate, look, we'll just remind you to take that firewood.
Yeah, that's right, mate.
You might need it.
Maybe a jumper or 2.
Exactly. All right, mate. Well, good stuff. We'll let you get back into your day, and we'll chat to you next week, eh?
All right, Blake. Look forward to it.
All right, there you go. That was Rick O'Brien. And, of course, a reminder, you can grab our podcast, the Red Dirt Podcast with Rico and myself. And because of COVID, it's been a bit hard, but we might jam one in this week. We'll just get Rico on the phone, and we'll do that this week for you, the Red Dirt Podcast. But you can also, if you are looking for something to watch and looking for a great program, you need to jump onto Rico's YouTube channel, Australia Rediscovered with Rico. The latest edition is up there right now. It went up this week, so check that out. You certainly won't regret doing that. We will take a quick break, come back with more in just a sec.
You're listening to the Camping and Off-Road Radio Show with The Duck. Thanks to Spitwater, Club Marine, Shimano, Cooper Tyres, Uniden, The Manshake and Club 4x4.
And just a reminder too, you can catch Adam Harvey and myself on Country Picks, especially you listeners on Flow FM and, of course, Kicks Country Radio. You can catch the latest there. And a reminder too, our podcasts are available there on our website, bluecollarmedia.com.au. Hit podcast. You'll find a new one there as well that we are doing for Ozcar, who are a huge advertiser on this radio network. You can check out Ozcar Weekly. So if you're in the market for a new car, get onto that, Ozcar Weekly, and interviews and we'll have some giveaways and all sorts of stuff there. And it's actually written and produced and put together by my daughter, Courtney. So there you go. So check it out. Ozcar Weekly. It's a new podcast. Doesn't go for long, but it's got a lot of info there for you. And while we're at it, we might as well just remind you about our online shop as well. Go to the website, click shop, bluecollarmedia.com.au. Blue singlets, stubby holders, caps, beanies, hoodies, T-shirts. You'll find a whole stack of gear there. Looks pretty good too, with the Uluru range, with the Southern Cross and the Ayers Rock and all that stuff. You'll love it. So check it out at the website right there.
And now, it's time to cross the Nullarbor with Peter Woods.
And, of course, Woodsy is the guru behind the Sydney, Adelaide and, of course, Perth four-wheel drive and adventure shows. He's on the line from WA. Woodsy, g'day.
Morning. How you going?
Mate, going all right.
Anyway.
Yeah, I understand that. Now, listen, I had some messages and videos sent to me last night from a mutual mate of ours who was at the Daily Waters pub. Your man, Tony Calvert, Tony Cal from Pro 4x4. He's on the road, mate. He's travelling up the top end. So
yeah, well, you can from Adelaide. Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw some pictures of him camped on the edge of Cooper Creek the other night, and then last night, a couple of nights ago rather, I was sitting back next thing, the phone's going off, and here he was sending me a video of the men's toilets. I mean,
oh, nice.
It's just what I wanted to see.
Right.
No, well, I mean, obviously, out there in the territory, they get very creative with their empty beer kegs, and they can make wash basins out of them and all sorts of things. And
absolutely.
And and I know at the Lazy Lizard up there at Pine Creek, it's the same. And so he'd seen that, and he'd sent me that, and I think he might have had a few beers based on the grammar and the spelling mistakes in his messages. But anyway, all very, very good as he gets himself to Darwin. That's where he's headed to, and he's going the long way. Good on him. Now, mate, just quickly, we mentioned this last week. You've now got the dates for the show in Sydney that's been moved in light of COVID. What's date in March?
4, 5 and 6th of March. We're doing a festival style because it's the Australian Forward Adventure Show, which started in Perth in 1992, is 30 years old. So we're going to do a bit of a
we mentioned
festival. We might have a chat to you about some music, which we did. But we've contacted a few people, and we're sending emails out at the moment. But people are going, "What a great idea!"
Yeah,
relaxed food trucks, bit of music.
It'll be fantastic. And we mentioned this last week. 30-year anniversary, fantastic. And of course, there'll be those twilight shows. And like we said, I can help you there. We can get any artist we want. So I can help you out with that.
And it's all
talk to you about
which
that.
Is good and positive, and people are looking to get out.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it's a great time of year to have it. I mean, I think March. I mean, the weather's beautiful in this part of the world. Then, so
balmy night. It'll be lovely. Yeah,
it'll be fantastic, mate. So I look forward to that, and it'll be
but I thought.
And a real event too. It'll be not just the four-wheel drive and adventure show. It'll be a twilight, concerts and the like.
Yeah.
Like you say, food and drink. It'll be fantastic. Can't wait for it.
Yeah,
mate.
it'd be great. Yeah.
Now, just quickly, mate, Shark Bay in WA, mate. Tell us why we should be heading there.
People have been asking us, where do we go that's not too far away? Because everything in WA is miles away, and if you want to go north, and Shark Bay's, the weather's good up there. As you just miss all the winter storms, pretty much at Shark Bay.
Yeah.
Because it's been pretty wet over here. But the beauty of it is Denham's the main town, but you can get up in the morning, go hard and drive it in a day. That's only 800 k's at Perth. That's nothing. And get up there in Denham and have a beer at the pub there. But the options are for people with either camping, caravan, camper trailer. There's all these choices. So there's a great caravan park. I mean, there's some great hotels there as well, pubs to stay in. Caravan park's awesome. But the government set up out in Perham Peninsula all these great campsites, and they've all got sort of toilets. So for people who don't like going in the bush, but there's Big Lagoon right out in Perham Peninsula, so groups can get up there, camp out by the water. It's quite protected because of Durkard Island protects the water, but just got plenty of options for families to be able to camp out. You can camp out, you can stay in good off-road caravan, camper trailer up there. And on the other side is Monkey Mile, which is where all the dolphins hang out. So the kids, you can go out there for a day, hang out with check out the dolphins, but just got plenty of options, big day's drive, and options for full caravan park, accommodation in the town, or camping it, but you've got proper set up government toilets. So, and you're right on the water, and it's real wilderness country, but within that proximity. So great choice for people who. It gives them plenty of choice. That's the main thing, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at photos of it now. It looks fantastic. What a great spot. Beautiful.
The fishing's pretty good too, yeah.
I've got no doubt. I mean, what fantastic scenery. Mate, amazing. Yeah, you're blessed. You are blessed with locations over there in the west. It's certainly,
the red pin
a lot of it looks untouched too. Like it's when I'm looking at it now,
wilderness.
Beautiful. Yeah, just beautiful. Yeah. Like and the colours of the red rock with the green, trees on the top with the white sand and the blue water. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
It's a great wilderness experience without, but you're still in contact. You know what I mean? So it gives you that nice balance. Yeah.
No, good stuff, mate. Cool. All right, Woodsy. Well, thanks for that one. We'll leave you there, and
okay.
A good one, Shark Bay. We'll remind people here about the show. Keep them up to date over the coming months of what is happening at the shows.
As we get more news.
Yeah, absolutely, and I look forward to working with you on that. And I think it's going to be an absolute winner. In fact, it could end up being a blessing in disguise, because I think I've got to say to you though, Woodsy, and just quickly, you can pick a weather event. You can make a weather event happen the minute. I mean, some of the experiences in Sydney, there'll be massive cyclonic winds, rain. You can do it, but I think you'll be pretty safe in. I think you'll be pretty safe in March. Yeah, oh, mate, remember the last one in Sydney? Remember the last one in Sydney?
Storm came through. Yeah, the big video screen fell down. Yeah.
Oh, we won't go there. All right, mate, let you go, mate. We've got to fly. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, catch you. Bye.
See you, mate. There he is. That's Peter Woods, and as I said, the guru of the Sydney, Adelaide and Perth four-wheel drive adventure shows. And how good is that? Although we were looking forward to the show this year, but it's being pushed to March next year. We'll keep you posted and updated on all of that. With the Twilight concert thrown in, I think it's going to be a winner. Really, I mean, there'll be people flocking there from everywhere. How good will it be? And the weather in March in this part of the world will be sensational. It'll be nice, be warm, be balmy, and there'll be live entertainment, drink and food trucks, as he said. And I think it's going to be an absolute cracking event. And so they're the dates, the 4th, 5th and 6th of March next year. So put them ones down. No, it's a fair way off yet. We've got a lot to get through before we get to there. But certainly it'll take a fair bit of planning, and he has a pretty good team around him to help him do that as well. With Karen Ann, his son Chris, they do a great job. It's a good team, small team, but they certainly do get it done. So we look forward to the Sydney Four-Wheel Drive and Adventure Show next March. That'll be fantastic. We'll take a quick break, come back and wrap things up. Well, that is the show. It's time for us to hit the road, although we're not hitting the road anywhere soon. But just to remind you, if you want to get in touch through the week, you can do that, bluecollarmedia.com.au. Click on Email the Duck, or you can jump on the Facebook page and send a message there, the Duck, or type in the Duck Adventures on Facebook. We certainly do appreciate the messages and the emails, all the feedback, and I answer all of that for you as well. A big thank you to Vic Widman, Rick O'Brien, Waddy, Dom, Dominic Genoa, Steve Zammett, of course, Woodsy just then, and of course, our mate Dave from the Batuta Pub. I love that chat. Fantastic. A big thanks to Bunchy back in the studio as well for making it all work for us. Look, just a reminder, if you missed anything, grab the podcast. You'll find the podcast links there on the 9 Radio News Talk websites, or, like I say, check out our website. All the podcasts are there for you as well. To our network stations, thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. When we do get out there, if you see me out there somewhere, come up and say good day.